Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Now let me ask you, now what does Life is Strange and Marvel's Spider-Man for the PS4 have in common? You may think that they may have very flawed yet cool protagonists with superpowers, or with great power comes great responsibility. But think about it, they're also both walking puzzle simulators. Now, in Marvel's Spider-Man for the PS4, you mainly play as Peter Parker and his friends, exploring some cool environments, solving engaging puzzles, stealthing through some missions. The best stealth game I've played since Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Wow.
As for the story of this game, a lot of people and reviewers would tell you that this is one of the best Spider-Man stories that ever come out, and this is due to the fact that Peter Parker's life is basically a feels thread on 4chan. But for some people, the story isn't quite perfect, mainly due to the puzzles inside the game. But thankfully this doesn't quite affect me because I don't have ADHD. Some people are complaining that the puzzles are too easy, whereas some people are complaining that the puzzles are just taking too long. But think about it. Bioshock 1 have very similar puzzles to Marvel's Spider-Man, and Bioshock is one of the most critically acclaimed games out there. So if it's good enough for Bioshock 1, other people should learn to shut the fuck up.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
As it stands, Marvel's Spider-Man is one of the most interesting story-based games out there. Besides the minigame where you get to play for Spider-Man for an indefinite amount of time, there is also an interesting lack of dialogue and choice options in the game, which is usually commonplace in most story-based games out there. Which isn't really a big issue to me, but Peter Parker is usually a broke dude who is out of time. And during certain segments where you play as Spider-Man in the minigame, time just stops, allowing you to swing around indefinitely. Sometimes during these moments, Peter Parker will be called by Dr. Octavius or MJ that they really need his help right now. And during those moments, you can still swing around as Spider-Man and ignore all these things without any consequences. Instead, I think that the game should force players back to being Peter Parker, if not it will trigger a game over screen. And while I'm happy the inclusion of MJ and Miles Morales was good for gameplay variety, I would have liked to play extra characters just for the sake of perspective. Perhaps like letting us play as Aunt May. I'm quite sure her role volunteering in the Feast shelter would have been very interesting from a gameplay point of view.
Bruh.
Last but not least, as far as the genre goes, this is one of the most beautiful and well-acted walking simulators that I've seen of this year. Never was there a single moment where my immersion was affected. I was just at the edge of my seat in terms of finding out what happens next in the great story of Peter Parker. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is truly 2018's best game of the year.
God of War.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.